My name is Ed Nardi, Chair of the Natural Resources Commission, and I am calling this public meeting to order at 7 p.m. Tonight's NRC meeting will be a hybrid in-person and Zoom meeting. We have a microphone set up on the commission table, and plans will be projected through the TV monitor. If you are presenting via Zoom, please turn on your audio and microphone when it is time for you to speak. Following the presentation by the petitioner and questions from the commission, members of the public will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment. Please identify yourself with name and address for the record. You can also raise your hand from your phone by dialing *9 and use *6 to unmute. All video screens will be turned off with the exception of the commissioners, Delia, and the current petitioner. Once the commission has acted on an application, the petitioner is free to leave the meeting. This meeting is being recorded. In the event of any technical difficulties, all matters on the agenda that have not been heard will automatically be continued to the February 1st NRC meeting. At this time, I would ask the commissioners to introduce themselves. Bill?
Bill Camisa.
Sarah?
Sarah Greenwood.
Gary?
Gary Kleiman.
And Nick? Is he out there?
He's not here yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully he'll join in shortly. All right. I think the first item on the agenda are approval of meeting minutes from October 12th and November 2nd. I read through them. I didn't have any comments. Nice set of meeting minutes. Karen?
I missed both meetings, so I have to abstain.
All right.
I read them over and same thing, no, I think they're fine.
Gary?
Yep. No,
You good?
there was one little typo or something that I think I emailed back to Karen or will email back to Karen, but
Okay.
they're all good.
Okay, so we've got a quorum to vote on that, I think, on those two.
So I move that we accept the minutes, approve the minutes for October 12th, 2022 and November 2nd, 2022.
Second,
Thank you, Gary. And the vote, Bill?
Aye.
Gary?
aye.
And I am an aye as well. All right. Any comments from the commissioners this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to the director's update.
So I did mention at the last meeting that Bert was going to be joining us on January 3rd. So Bert Comans, our new Assistant Natural Resources Director. He's been here a week and a day. And is
Still here.
jumping right into everything, natural resources and conservation restrictions and conservation lands. We're very excited to have him on board. Will is also back from parental leave.
Great.
So we're starting 2023 strong.
Welcome. Thank you.
Warner's Pond Restoration Project, I mentioned a little update on that last month, but the sampling work continues for the bathymetry and sediment work. They had some problems with ice freezing. They're hoping for a thaw later this week or early next to get out and complete that bathymetry and sediment sampling. We will be distributing a survey to all town residents in the next couple of weeks in advance of the public hearing that we will be holding in late February, early March. White Pond, we're getting the consultant reports on the use of the APOD, the cyanobacteria technology that harvests the harmful aquatic foods. And also the water quality monitoring. I just got the draft report of the APOD technology this afternoon, and we're working with the consultant on the water quality monitoring to get a little bit more layman's perspective, because we want it to be something that the public can just sort of pick up and read and understand.
So does that report cover every month or just the non-winter months?
So which one for both?
Both, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they both started work in May, June, and completed work in September, October. The APOD went a little bit further into November. And so it will cover that season for the time that they were doing the work.
Okay, and then the April comes out and then you're just.
The APOD is out.
Yeah.
And then you just tell me where to put it back in.
That's the other thing, is that we're going to be working with them to get proposals for calendar year 2023 on both the water quality monitoring and the APOD implementation.
Okay.
So the goal is to have their reports in by December 31st. So, you know, we're working to get those in. And then to have them both come to a White Ponds task force meeting, the new group, the new White Pond group that has formed, to present their findings, and we thought that would probably be the best
Mhm.
venue for them to present the information to the public. So I'll let you know once that's scheduled, in case people want to.
Yeah.
We received a garden club grant in the amount of $523.50, and it's to fund pollinator kits. And so we're going to, we have ordered actually 6 flats of 6 different species, 50 plants each, and we are going to develop a sun mix for dry soils and a sun mix for wet soils. We're going to take those, we're going to pot them up into pots of 9 plants each, so 3 of each species. And we're going to distribute those at an Earth Day event for free.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to help with the repotting, because
Sure.
let me know.
Yeah, sure.
That'll go quick.
That'll be
Yeah.
a while then, right?
Yeah, so I've ordered them to arrive in early April.
Hmm.
And then Earth Day is, April 22nd. So whatever, it's some timing around then that we would have host, or we wouldn't host, but we would join an event.
Who do you order those from?
So the place that we get them from is called New Moon Nursery
Okay.
in New Jersey.
Mhm.
And that's where we've been getting a lot of our pollinator plantings, and they're consistently really high quality plants. We're very happy with them. They're wholesale.
That's right, yeah. That's a
right.
big difference. yeah.
It is a big difference.
Yeah.
So we were getting from a smaller organization before that, anybody can order from, but the quality has not been consistent.
Gotcha.
So these ones have been really good. We've been happy with them.
Great.
So, yeah, they were the same.
Yes,
ones, but-
Sign me up to help with that in April. I'd like to learn more about both the wet and the dry species, so.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got both you and Sarah and.
Yeah,
Ed.
good.
Oh, maybe, yeah, who knows?
Okay, I'll bring it up again, I'm sure.
Watching party.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I mentioned this at the last talk, last meeting, but Richard Foreman is hosting his copter ecology talk at the library. There's a wait list at this point.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's great.
So that comes out. Yeah, should be good. So, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. So I think we have a couple of continuances this evening. So we'd like to make a motion on those.
Sure. Let's say we are going to be continued to February 1st without discussion. I move that with the application for the notice of intent for 59 Walden Street, DEP file 1371618, and the notice of intent for 309 Lindsay Pond Road, DEP file 1371625.
Second.
Thank you, Sarah. Take the vote, Bill.
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
And I am an aye as well. All right, so new applications this evening. Let's see, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 300 Ministerial Drive, DEP file number 137-1624.
Hi, I'll be talking about that one.
Oh, okay, Nathaniel, good evening.
Hi, how are you? All right, so hi, my name is Nathaniel Cataldo. I am with Stancy McNary. I'm here on behalf of the applicants, Elizabeth Cody, and this is for this is an ANRAD for the property at 300 Ministerial Drive. So I don't know if you all are looking at the plan or not. Basically, the
So
bank
Nathaniel,
of
can you pull
an
up that-
unnamed intermittent stream.
Can you? pull
Yeah,
up-
do you want me to share it? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes,
great.
please.
Yeah, didn't know we did that here, sorry. All right, is that good? All right. So like I was saying, it's a bank that runs along kind of the eastern property line here.
So we don't see this, we don't see it
And
yet.
it projects 100.
Yeah.
No?
Here it comes.
Maybe.
Yeah, my
There you go.
internet is down. I'm running off a hotspot, might be a little spotty, so sorry
It
for
just
that.
Came
but-
up. We see it now.
All right. Okay. I'll try to zoom in a bit. All right, I mean, so try to find out what I was saying. Okay, so pretty much, hopefully my cursor is coming up again. Sorry for the Wi-Fi problems, but the bank basically runs along here, comes up a little bit within a drainage easement, continues along kind of the easternmost property line, and it projects 100-foot buffer zone onto most of the property, which is shown by the dashed dot lines. We got the staff comments, a couple of flags that got moved. They were redelineated, resurveyed. So this is the most recent plan. And just to kind of reiterate, it's just delineation of the bank. There's no bordering vegetated wetland associated with it. So just sticking to confirm the delineation of the bank. That's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Anelia, you're good with the flagging?
Yes.
Okay.
Bert and I went out and reviewed the revised flagging this morning, and that is fine. I would just point out that the application does indicate an intermittent stream. There's no request to confirm whether or not there's annual high water.
Mm-hmm.
So the findings are just for bank.
All right. Is there any public comment regarding this application? All right, not seeing any. I believe we have a finding.
So I move that we issue the following findings, that the Natural Resources Commission has verified the following resource area.
I apologize. Oh, did you
I think
get
I
the
got-
one about?
I get the red
three?
line.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
No problem. The boundary delineated by Goddard Consulting in June of 2022, and it's shown on the plan of land prepared by Andrew Berry, PLS, and last revised on January 9th of 2023, with the bank flag numbers GC1 through GC16. Second finding, there may be other resource areas present on the site which the commission was not asked to verify. In addition, the commission was unable to verify resource area boundary flags other than the ones approved in this ORAD. For this reason, the commission reserves the right to review any future proposal for work on site to determine if there is a resource area or portion thereof not verified in this ORAD that may trigger the commission's jurisdiction. And number three, any debris piles, including yard waste within 50 feet of a wetland resource area, shall be removed by hand. That's it.
Second.
Thank you, Sarah. And we'll take the vote, Bill.
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
And I am an aye as well. Thank you, Nathaniel.
All right, thank you.
All right. Moving to our next new application this evening. It is notice of intent, 96 Southfield Road, DEP file number 137-1626. I think Nathaniel.
Yep.
Yep, again.
That'll be me again. I'm not sure if the applicant's present in person or not. I wanted to.
Hi, Nathaniel, I'm here.
Good evening.
Hi, okay. All right.
Sure. Like first one in person in a couple of years, so.
There you go. Sure. That's your seat.
All right. Is it, can you see it on my
Not-
screen?
There it is. Yep.
Okay, all right. Again, Wi-Fi problems and whatnot out of nowhere, unfortunately. But all right, so I don't know if the applicant Matt is here. I don't know if he wanted to speak first, or if you want me to speak first, either way.
Matt, what's your preference?
I can do an extremely brief introduction and then I'll turn it right back to Nathaniel.
Okay.
Yep.
My name's Matt Seppi from EMS Development and here tonight in reference to 96 Southfield Road. Existing single family dwelling that is there. Unfortunately, it's been vacant for a while. It's in tough shape, and last winter, the water was left on in the house with no heat and it was under pressure. So it filled up the whole basement. All the water came out of the basement windows, first floor and second floor were wrecked as well. So currently it's still vacant and there's no utilities, including electrical, that have hooked up to the building. So I'm here tonight as a proposal for trying to move forward to demolish the existing structure that's there and work on a proposal for a new single family dwelling. And I'll turn it back to Nathaniel.
All right, great. Thank you. So the kind of site plan is on my screen. So this is off of Southfield Road. It's address 96. To the north of the property is where the bordering vegetated wetland is. wetland flags 1 through 10, and it projects a 100-foot buffer zone, which actually goes past the property line. So the entire property is within the 100-foot buffer zone. And also on the other buffer zones are being shown. So the 50-foot no build zone is being shown, which the existing house, I'll try to zoom in a little bit, have the gray hash marks outline the foundation of the existing house is within the 50-foot buffer zone. And at the closest point, the existing house is 30.2 feet from the edge of the wetland. And also the 25-foot no disturb is kind of in the yard here, this dotted line. So as Matt said, the plan is to remove the existing house and all its other appurtenances, so the driveway, walkways, decks, and whatnot. And proposed is a new single-family house, which is the kind of heavy outline here. And then also a deck in the back and a new driveway, walkway, a couple porches in the front. So because the existing house is within 50 feet of the wetland, and because of limited space on the lot, there's really there's no possible way, as we kind of discussed in the waiver request, to replace the dwelling without putting it in the 50-foot buffer zone. But consistent with how the regulations sort of outline what's allowable with the waiver, we're putting the house a little further from the wetland than it is now. So it's 30.3 feet from the wetland, so a little bit further. That's kind of like overhang and everything like that. The deck, which protrudes out a little bit, is 30.5 feet from the wetland. And it's pretty much all proposed in existing open space lawn area. So the edge of lawn goes pretty much up nearly to the edge of the wetland on most of the property. So to accomplish this, there's no trees being removed, no clearing. All of the work is within existing open space already disturbed. Also a benefit because of how the driveway is positioned. There's no runoff from the driveway that will go. It'll all be going to the front of the property instead of to the rear of the property like it does now. And we're proposing little infiltration pads at the four corners to provide some infiltration for the roof runoff. Other than that, of course, one of the staff comments was about the mitigation and wanting a more kind of robust plan, but we are showing the mitigation as appropriate. So it's at a 1-to-1 ratio for an increase in impervious area, and it's also at a 5-to-1 within the 25-foot buffer zone to make up for the impervious area within the 50. Kind of confusing to say it like that, but we'll provide, like was mentioned in the comments, like a breakdown of everything like that. Other than that, I don't want to ramble on for too long. So that's pretty much the gist of it. So I'll take any additional questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to confirm, I think you, as part of the notes, we did receive the breakdown, right, by 25, 50, 100.
That came in
dollars, right?
yesterday.
On a square footage
Yeah.
basis, so we can
Yes,
understand
we
the
have the-
mitigation.
So we have the impact table, we don't have the mitigation table. We still need
Ah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll need that. And I think one of the suggestions was perhaps, getting a little bit more of a robust mitigation plan, i.e. maybe a landscape architect and lean into that and provide a little bit more information, species, and kind of a fuller plan.
I can definitely have my landscape architect take that and enhance it. I was planning on doing that, but I
Okay.
figured that would be the next step after.
Sure.
Good.
Okay, great. And again, we've got a couple of pictures of the site, if you will. Do you think any of those, I know the trees are noted, but are those all the trees that are noted? Or are those the ones that are staying? Are you taking out certain trees?
Right now, there are no trees that we're planning to remove from the site. As
Okay.
Nathaniel indicated, the area where it's either the existing house, its yard, or it's a driveway.
Okay.
So we'll be working within that area. There are invasives that are in our planting area.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
typically in the past, I would try to get some guidance from DOU staff,
Yeah.
maybe after a site walkthrough to see, what do we want to remove out of that area that are invasives? And, that would be something I would think you'd want us to do. We'd be
Sure,
planning on
yeah.
doing.
It'd be good for doing so much planning back there, right? It'd be self-defeating if you don't chase some of those at the end of the day, right?
It needs some cleanup in
Yeah.
its current condition, both with just other leaf dumpings as well as the invasives that are back there.
Mhm.
Do you think your landscape architect is, proficient enough to suggest some of the mitigation regarding the invasives as well? In terms of this?
Yes, I mean, my landscape architect's Kim Ahern, so she
Oh,
was,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
We've gone through this in the past with
Yeah.
other projects here in town, so I think she'd be able to come up with some helpful,
kind of
notes to
protocol
what to
and,
do.
yeah.
Actually, Delia's staff has given me guidance on that in the past with certain, after we cut the invasive, to spray a certain spray. I can't remember the name of it now, but we spray a certain spray on it, so it doesn't grow bad for the bittersweet and stuff, so we could work to enhance the plan. in that
Yeah.
regard.
yeah, that'd be very helpful if, again, if Kim's
Mhm.
comfortable with that, to kind of kill two birds with one stone, if you will, so.
Sure.
That'd be great. Thank you. Do you,
So I think with that though, there are some trees in the mitigation area that are not shown on the plan. So anything that is 6 inches or greater DBH should show on the plan. I mean, part of the issue with not showing them and then having all of these shrub plantings in that area is that when you have your landscape contractor go out, to put in the plantings, and they say, where am I gonna put all these? Because I've got trees in the way.
Right, there are,
Yeah.
there are trees that are within
In there.
that buffer
Yeah.
area that we wouldn't be removing.
Right,
We'd probably be
except for the Norways.
cleaning out invasive around it,
Right.
including the Norways.
Yeah.
But I've already, Nathaniel and I had already know that you want that on
Okay,
the
great.
plan, so he knows that they're gonna have to get those noted and located.
and I guess you can use your judgment on what trees may require tree protection or not, depending on your constructed, kind of how you want to construct the home.
Correct,
Okay,
yes, we can do that.
so if they require it, you could show the typical detail that we have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that kind of captures the general commentary. I don't know if the commission has.
No. I'm struck, and this isn't anything about what you've done, Matt, or anything. The difference in where the 50-foot line is on the town GIS compared to the plan, it seems significant. I'm amazed that it's. just as accurate.
Sometimes it's spot on, and
Yeah.
other times it can be very,
Yeah.
very different.
It
Yeah.
varies.
Yeah, which is, why it's just a planning tool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any comment?
No.
Jerry?
Yeah, from my side, I just look forward to seeing the mitigation plan.
Yeah.
Otherwise it all looks good.
All right. Is there any public comment regarding this plan? Yes, please, name and address for the record.
My name is Joe Warren. I own the abutting property at 122 Southfield Road. And I'm not sure this is the right venue for this or not,
Okay.
but I promised some of our other neighbors that I would bring this up. Because a number of us have had problems with raccoons. Stay with me here. Raccoons invading our attics. And you may not know this, Matt, but the house you bought at me is called the Raccoon House.
I heard them today. And
They have parties every Saturday night.
whatever was upstairs, I came to the conclusion, it's too much noise to be an animal and to be a person, but I didn't go upstairs to check.
Big, their refrigerator was full and now they've taken it. Anyway, I promised some of them, because they are afraid that when that is taken down, those guys will look for another close by attic.
Mhm.
And we've all had, the pest control folks over.
Okay.
So anyway,
That's
again, it
it.
may not be the
Thank
right
you for-
venue, but I thought.
No, that's a good note for me to make, and we can figure out what's gonna be the best way to address that in a humane fashion, because, yeah, I would like to get them removed out of the house as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other, no comment?
Nathaniel, can you stop sharing? Please, it's just easier to see if there's any, I don't see any.
All right. Okay, so Matt, are you okay with continuing in terms of developing the
Yes.
plan and timeframe for you?
I'll speak with Nathaniel and I'll speak with Kim tomorrow, and a lot of it's in the works already.
Okay.
So I'm hopeful we'll be able to come back with a plan for commission to review at the next meeting.
Okay,
But I'll confirm that and then work through the proper channels to see if we can make that happen.
So that meeting is February 1st,
Mhm.
and then materials would be due for that next Friday by noon.
great.
Great.
All right.
Thank you for
Look forward to
this time
seeing you.
tonight.
Yeah,
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you back on the first.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nathaniel. I think we're passing over 309.
Yep.
All right. So with that, we go to Elm Street. All right, so the next application is notice of intent for the Mass DOT Highway Division. And this is Route 119 2A Elm Street, DEP file 137-1627. And let's see, there's Alyssa with us this evening.
Yes, good evening. Alyssa Jacob with Epsilon Associates. I have a few other representatives from Matthew DOT and the engineering firm. If they want to go ahead and introduce themselves to the commission, that would be great. Please.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Stephen Simaglu. I'm in the highway design section with Mass DOT.
I'm Lori Aho. I am a highway designer with TEC.
Hi, I'm Peter Ellison, also with TEC, and I handled the stormwater design for the project.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're here tonight to request an order of conditions for sidewalk improvements along Elm Street or Route 2A in Concord. This is a very well supported project from the community to add these sidewalks along the north side of the roadway. It extends from the Acton Concord municipal boundary down towards the Rotary. We've been before the Acton Conservation Commission and have received approval from Acton for the work in that town. So we're here tonight, obviously, to continue to review the project with Concord. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, hopefully very efficiently. So work is proposed within the 100-foot buffer zone and the 200-foot riverfront area, wetland resource areas located along the project corridor. The proposed work consists of a 5-foot wide sidewalk, as well as the addition of a flashing signalized crosswalk in between Shaw Farm Road and Lally Woods driveway. And this is down towards closer to the Rotary. There's also a stormwater swale proposed, and there will be tree protection, erosion and sediment control, etc. At existing crossings, so what you see shaded here is the work within the 200-foot riverfront area, and there will be additional a crosswalk added across Comerford Road with ADA accessible curb ramp for any roadway crossings and for the proposed new crosswalk system. Currently, there's no sidewalk in this location, so this would be a new sidewalk where none currently exist. And that's really, it's a sidewalk project. It's not complicated. So I guess I'll turn it over to the commission to ask any questions. Or we did get the email from Albert earlier this week with a few notes, including about the stormwater management report review. So we'll look to address that and then comments received tonight.
Okay, thank you, Alyssa. So they did receive the comments from CPW. Okay.
No,
No, not yet.
Oh, from you.
They haven't
Oh, okay,
received
fine.
the,
Okay. All right. And I think one of the questions was just kind of looking around here is I think one of those, the 3 large trees, right? And i.e. the disposition of those.
yeah,
There's a 36 and a 36 maple, 48-inch oak, and a 40-inch oak. They didn't have any tree protection on them, not identified for removal. Any further thoughts on that?
Yeah, I could speak to that. We actually, the symbol is shown there for tree protection. The intent is to protect the tree, but it just, the call out was not put on the plan. So we will definitely, we'll add that on the plans. But the intent is to add tree protection to those 3 trees that you noted on the plans.
Okay, and then I know there were a couple options of tree protection. I assume given the proximity of those trees, there would be more kind of that kind of protection, trunk protection versus.
Yeah, it would be the trunk
You can't
protection of
do-
those 3. Yep, the
Yeah.
cladding.
Okay. All right, so they're staying, they'll be protected. And I know there was a general commentary that Delia, by way of just some of the flags perhaps being either a little bit inaccurate or, you know, at the center line versus
At the
off
bank.
center, edge of bank.
So there's two choices there. You can reflag some of those wetlands so that they're accurately shown. Or the commission can include a finding in the order of conditions that just says the resource area boundaries aren't approved under the filing, which would be fine because it's not going to change the nature of the project.
Yeah, we had a brief discussion about that today, and I think we're fine with that second option. Even if we did go out and add additional flagging, it wouldn't change the limits of the buffer zone greatly, and we still wouldn't be impacting directly DVW. So.
Right, okay. Let's see. Other comments from the commission, Bill?
No, I don't think so. I think you covered the things I had said, Mark.
Yeah, Sarah? You good? Gary, you good?
I just had a question. I know you're connecting to the existing sidewalk on the west end of the project. Is there an existing sidewalk on the east end towards the Rotary? Is that what I'm seeing in one of the pictures that was included?
Yeah, there's a photograph, the last photograph of the series on page 6. Sorry.
Right.
No.
Right, yeah, that's what I was looking,
Page
I'm trying to
11.
figure out. That is an existing sidewalk.
Yes.
And does that extend all the way to the Rotary? Or just,
I'm not
I've-
sure.
I don't think it's all the way to the Rotary. I don't know. Maybe Alyssa, maybe your team knows stops, but we didn't.
Yeah, honestly, I would have to pull up Google Earth or sorry, Street View and take a look. You know, we don't have to leave our house.
I think it's in the vicinity of further MCI driveways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, it's, okay, so it would connect MCI basically.
right,
to-
right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Alyssa, just for my edification, are the new sidewalks concrete or bituminous?
They are
2
mixed
minutes.
asphalt. Yep,
Is that-
asphalt.
Asphalt, okay.
Mhm.
Just out of curiosity, that's all. Okay, is there any public comment regarding the application this evening?
Oh, yes, Carlin Reed.
Okay.
Raised. Hi, Carlin.
Hi, Carlin Reed, 83 Wits End. I'm really pleased to see this application, really pleased. Because I remember that the Comerford Road residents were constantly complaining about not being able to get across a great road. So thank you very much, Department of Transportation, and thank you very much, NRC, for considering this. That's it.
Thank you, Carla. Okay, so I think with that, again, relatively straightforward, and as Carlin emphasized, great project. So I think, would you guys like to come before us on the first, waiting for CPW drainage comments?
And if CPW has no comments that need to be addressed,
They don't have to come before us.
then
Right.
we could just close an issue with the need
Okay.
for the applicant to attend.
Great. Alyssa, you good with that?
Yes. Do you need anything in writing to respond to the email that was sent that we did discuss tonight? So we just responded writing back to that email about the delineation, et cetera, or are we
It's on
good
the
with this?
record. I think we're good.
Okay, great.
Thank you and your team.
Thank you for your time.
You,
Have a good evening.
You too.
thanks.
All right. I think with that, we're moving on to other business. So this is regarding Mr. Johnson, 177 Barnesville Road, an enforcement order violation. So is Mr. Johnson here this evening? Yeah. Good evening. If you'd like to sit there, come up to the table, your choice. Delia's provided us with a timeline and the background of the issues. Some of us on the commission are more familiar than others, just given our time on the commission. So I happen to be around at that time at a minimum, so I have at least a more familiar understanding of that. So if you'd like to tell us why the work has been, the deadline was missed to remediate that, I think it was 370 square feet, where the gravel was placed and built into the soil. I don't know why that was remediated. What's that?
400 square feet.
Yeah, okay, approximately 400 square feet.
No, there's no particular reason that I can think of that was particularly acceptable that why we haven't done this in the past. So there has been things like rain, a very wet summer in one case. So I can do this thing next week if you would like to. I think it would not be much sense to do it next week. Because what we're talking about doing is scraping off some topsoil and then seeding it.
Yeah.
And seeding this right now probably doesn't make much sense. In fact, it wouldn't do anything. So what I'd like to do is propose that here's what we're talking about. The 400 square foot area behind this fence.
Behind the fence, okay.
And so what I'm proposing or suggesting is we do this sometime in April. When it makes sense to seed it, because I don't think any of us would like to leave, scraping the soil off and replacing it is fine, but then you're gonna wind up with just bare dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
And it would be better. In fact, I talked to the contractor a few days ago and he said, we can have that seeded in April and it'll be grass in 10 days.
Yeah, I think we concur with you. It's not the right time to do it, right? Soil runoff,
Exactly.
snow, rain, seeds, not gonna do anything. So I think we would agree.
Yeah, April sounds good.
I guess just to ask the obvious question, given our history here, when April comes around, is it gonna get done? I mean, just,
Yes.
okay. And, all right, any particular thoughts on the commission in regard to this issue?
Well, I just don't want to be in the same situation
Yeah.
in a year's time.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what we can do to, So in the original restoration plan, there was, in June, right? Yeah, I mean, and we can, have this on our calendar to make sure that this, gets confirmed, but, this is supposed to be done under the oversight of a wetland scientist who is supposed to be doing monitoring in accordance with the original restoration plan. So as long as that is followed.
Yeah.
I think that, and, if you choose to work with somebody else and then you can contract with, that's fine. We just need to, we're supposed to have a pre-construction site visit before you start the work, and then the wetland scientist oversees it, and then it's, there's some reporting that comes in to us after that.
Yeah, I mean, Ruben is reasonably flexible when he can come out and do this.
Like a
And,
contractor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, in fact, he said, he agreed that it would be better to do it when we wouldn't be leaving the dirt bare.
Sure.
2 months.
What's the latest time that this could be done? If you're gonna seed it, I wouldn't do it past June 1st.
No, it'd be
Okay.
too hot.
So that's why, because I almost would rather do an inspection before June 1st, so we don't have to wait another year.
I was thinking April 5th.
Okay.
So why don't we work with that time frame and say that that's the anticipated, April 15th, and you'll contact us to arrange that pre-construction when you've worked out the actual date with the contractor.
Yeah.
And then, April 15th will be on our calendar.
Yeah.
So if that date comes and goes, we'll reach out to you and say, hey,
happening.
where are we?
Right.
And
So you would like a meeting or a visit
mhm,
um,
with the contractor and the wetland scientist.
with the contractor
And the wetland scientist.
and the wetland center.
Yeah.
And it can be the day the work is going to be done. It's a, 15, half an hour,
Right.
conversation. It's just to make sure everybody's on the same page with what's.
What's being seeded.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, it's a one-day project. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Done. Yeah, start in the morning and be done.
Yeah. I think, I again, and that's the question, why it wasn't done sooner, but you've offered that explanation and I think we're accepting of that, but obviously when April comes around, that would be great to put a fork in it. Thank you very much.
Well, and that's my question, is whether there should also be some kind of mid-May date where it should have been done, a
Oh, yes.
remediation inspection, where an enforcement order would come in. Not that I'm looking to issue enforcement orders. It's more that, it's great to have the pre-construction meeting, but we also want to make sure that it gets done afterward, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think to Delia's suggestion, given it's a relatively straightforward project, perhaps it's all one and the same, just to be
Yeah.
efficient. We understand it's a relatively small project. And again,
All set?
thank you.
Satisfied?
I think we're good.
Yeah, if,
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next item under other business is Emerson Conservation Vote in accordance with Chapter 30B. I know there's some very specific language here.
just have to read the A and B. You don't have to read all the ones. And I did get some clarification.
You're good
Yeah.
with the language? Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like the language is a little bit of old English to me, but right. Right. If Delia says it's good, it's good.
Town council walked me through it.
Okay.
There was a question that we had on just the uniqueness, what was unique and what was not unique and what that meant. But it
Let's
says the
see.
advertising, that this vote basically subverts the need for going out for bid.
Ah,
In accordance with,
understood. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
because of the uniqueness of the parcel, that we couldn't ever get anything like this because of these qualities.
Yes,
And so we're sort of asking through the central register, for a waiver from that
of the
request for
process.
proposals, because
Yeah.
it's over 35,000 of power funds, not CPA, but general
Okay,
operating or general power funds.
that makes sense. Okay. Bill, you want to take that on?
Sure, here we go. I move on behalf of the NRC that we, to authorize the town manager to take all actions on behalf of the Natural Resources Commission that are reasonably necessary in the judgment of the town manager to complete the commission's acquisition of a conservation restriction on the property in accordance with the purchase and sale agreement executed as of February 10th, 2022 between Ralph Waldo Emerson Memorial Association and the commission, including without limitation, executing any and all closing documents, affidavits, settlement statements, and delivering closing funds. And B, that advertising under the general laws, chapter 30B, section 16E, paragraph 2, for the commission's acquisition of the conservation restriction on the property will not benefit the governmental body's interests due to the unique qualities of the property. Specifically, acquiring a conservation restriction on the property will contribute to the protection of the scenic and natural character of the historically significant Ralph Waldo Emerson property and the protection of the property will enhance the open space value of these and nearby lands. The property is uniquely situated at the gateway to Concord Center and is within Concord's American Mile Historic District, the State Historic District, and the Monument Square Lexington Road National Register District. The property abuts land that is already conserved, including 6-acre Haywood Meadow and the nearby 181-acre Hapgood Wright Town Forest and the 18-acre Walden Woods parcel. The property also abuts an adjacent 6-acre conservation parcel acquired by the town from the Ralph Waldo Emerson Memorial Association in 2019.
I suppose I should have just sort of started this with a little preface for anybody in the public who is wondering what this is about. This is a conservation restriction that the town purchased. Oh, let me just find the graphic. So, town meeting 2021 authorized the acquisition of this hatched area here, which is a portion of the Emerson parcel at 18-28 Cambridge Turnpike. And the Emerson Thoreau Amble, which starts here in Haywood Meadow, crosses over the southern portion of this parcel, then continues on through. This was land that was recently acquired from the Emerson Association. Emerson Thoreau Amble continues down along this cart path and then ultimately into the town forest and onto Walden Pond. And so this was the uniqueness vote is in reference to the CR that was granted to the commission on the 21st. The commission accepted and the select board approved on Monday night. So we're ready now with this to go to have Carrie sign the closing documents. This will be noticed in the central register for 30 days. And then we'll be able to acquire that CR and accomplish another conservation goal.
Great. Thank you for the background. Do you have a second on Bill?
Second.
Yeah, I had seconded, so
Oh, you did. Oh, thank you, Gary. I missed that. All right, Bill?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Gary?
I,
I'm an aye as well. Great. All right, I think we have some order of conditions by way of continuances to be heard this evening. And they are on the Sunnyside Lane parcels, I believe. I'll read those in.
Yes, I know that Mark White was planning to attend the meeting and wanted to be last. At 8 o'clock now. And it says 8 o'clock. So we say 8 on our agenda.
Okay.
Sorry, because he said he could. Let's take a break.
All right. We'll take a,
By the way,
What's that?
coincidentally, I was just with him with our kids have a track meet
Oh,
in Boston. And I know he,
well, he's late. You're here and he's not.
I'm here for 7 o'clock.
okay, so we'll take
What's left?
we'll take an 8-minute break.
can I raise I don't know, maybe it's a commissioner comment. I
Sure.
didn't want to raise it while we were talking about the Barnes Hill Road enforcement action, but Blue Jay Lane or Blue Jay Drive. I
Yep.
mean, have you talked to them?
Yes, and I did talk to them after you brought it up, and she said we did remove the connection, and so there apparently is no connection. Will is going to put a cap on that pipe. That erosion is still there, and I think
Right, and that's why I wanted to ask, like, I have no idea what happened in terms of breaking the connection or not.
yeah,
But last time I ran through there, what I noticed is the pipe that leads to all of that erosion, the outflow pipe is still
Still there.
there. And
Right.
they've like covered it over with sticks. So it,
oh, well, we know it's still
made-
there. We did evaluate that. It was a couple months ago now, and then Will has been on parental leave, so it is
okay.
on his list to go and just put a 4-inch cap on the pipe. And we've advised the homeowner, so they are aware. And we need to, so in the spring, we are looking to just figure out a way to sort of manage that erosion, because it's now that it has started, down cutting, it's just the problem's gonna exacerbate, so.
Great. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't, some attempt to ignore an enforcement action that we had given previously. That's all.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna pause recording for
Sure.
a moment. So
All
And I
right,
see
so we have.
Sue Felshin has joined, so it's probably good we waited.
What's that?
I see Sue Felshin has joined, so it's good that we
Okay.
waited.
oh, good. Yeah.
Okay, so we have some continuances this evening. I'm gonna read all 3 of them. Notice of intent, 61 Sunnyside Lane, DP file number 137-1620. Notice of intent 47 Sunnyside Lane, DEP file 137-1621. And then finally, notice of intent 41 Sunnyside Lane, DEP file 137-1622. And Mark, would you like to just add anything that you'd like to address?
Daniel from Stamsky is here.
I think he is.
Yep, hi, I'm here, yep.
All right.
Okay, so I can kind of just start, I mean, I can start with, I guess, 61, that's just what I have up, so
Sure.
I can share my screen. All right. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
good. All right. Okay, so just kind of since this one was kind of more, I think, visited earlier than the other two, there's kind of a little bit less changes to this one, but the biggest thing for 61 is that we have all the trees shown on the plan now. I know there was it was brought up at the last meeting that there were some that were kind of in the inner 25-foot buffer that weren't, but we went and survey located all the trees as required, 6-inch caliber or greater. So they're all shown on the plan. And this one, it'll be the same with the other three. Biggest thing is that it has its own landscape plan designed by Fisher Design Group. So, I mean, I can only go into it in so much detail, but it has like the list of everything, keeping the same number of the required trees and shrubs, professionally dispersed throughout the property, so to speak. And other than that, just the other kind of minor details between all of them, we redrafted all the plans so that each plan is just specific to the permitting for that specific lot. So we kind of toned back the details on neighboring lots and whatnot. We have the pheno stake detail, confirms the kind of line of the pheno markers on all the lots. I think that really only applied to either 41 or 47 though, but just staying on track with address 61. That's pretty much it. So the biggest things is we are showing the trees and we have the separate planting plan. So I don't know if you want me to go through the other ones or if you want to stop and make comments about this one, just let me know.
Okay. Commission, do you want to run through all of them or do you want to kind of just have a brief discussion per?
I'd say with a brief discussion.
Yeah, let's do one
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah.
So-
I would just note that I think the landscape plan looks much better. Thank you for that.
A lot easier to read. And
Yeah.
before, so yes, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think placement of trees and stuff looks a little bit more naturalized. If you
I
will.
agree.
So I think it's a good.
It's a good idea, Delia.
What's it all now?
All the time, all the time.
All right. I didn't have any other comments. Bill, Sarah, Gary?
No, everything looks good.
Okay.
Like they've addressed all of our issues.
All right, I think we can jump to the next one, Nathaniel. Okay. Oh,
We do one. at a
yes,
time,
you're right.
or-
Yep. Thank you, Sarah. Any public comments regarding 61 Sunnyside Lane? No comments? All right.
Should we close them one at a time?
I guess we should. As-
We're gonna wait another minute before we can go to.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's close this one out.
All right.
That'll take a minute. Yep, so, I move that we close the hearing and issue an order of conditions for 61 Sunnyside Lane, which is DP file, 1371620. This is with findings A and B, standard conditions 1 through 20, and special conditions 21 through 56.
Do we have a
Second.
I said,
Thank you, Gary. All right, Bill,
aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
and I'm an I as well. All right. Thank you,
All
Nathaniel,
right.
for that.
Yep, thank you.
We'll move to the next one, 47 Sunnyside Lane.
All right, yep, so moving south, this is 47, so a lot of the comments are really pretty much the same. All of these plans, especially 47 and 41, were updated very similarly. Again, the biggest thing is that there's a separate landscape plan, which I'm showing on the screen now. So again, same deal with 61. landscape plan put together by Fisher Design Group to show, the required trees and shrubs kind of dispersed in a more naturalized way by a landscape architect. Other than that, just the details consisted of the same things. So kind of scaling back, a lot of drafting, scaling back the background details of the neighboring lots, just showing the work that we're requesting under this file number, this address. We have the phenostake detail. We have all the trees that are being protected labeled, and all the ones that are being removed also labeled. And then other than that, just the still proposing the pheno markers kind of at the edge of where the tree line is going to be, also closer where the siltation barrier is. Other than that, not really much else for me to add. Again, just biggest thing is the drafting details, the trees, and the landscape plan. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Yes, Mark.
And just the other thing with the mitigation on 47 and 61, we combined all the mitigation that was required from the cutting of the retention basin. So that is shown on this plan as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Right. Yep.
Thank you. I don't have any.
no question.
Sarah, Gary?
No, it looks good.
Okay. Are there any public comments regarding 47 Sunnyside Lane? Don't see any, Dealer?
I'm not seeing it.
All right. So with that,
Okay, I move that we close the hearing and issue an order of conditions for 41 Sunnyside Lane, DEP file 1371621. This is with findings A and B, standard conditions 1 through 20, and special conditions 21 through 55.
Second,
thank you, Gary. We'll take the vote. Bill?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Gary?
aye.
And I am an aye as well. Let's see, how are we doing for time?
Wait a minute.
8. Yeah, we've got half a minute. Pretty good. Pause.
Well, thank you for accommodating my late request. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. Glad you're able to fit it all in.
Kids have only so many, high school events and
Sure,
my last year to enjoy it all.
That's great.
So it's,
Good for you to make it happen. All right, I'll say it's 8:10, and we can proceed with 41 Sunnyside Lane. Nathaniel.
Yes. Okay,
Quickly through 41 Sunnyside
Yep.
Lane.
All right, so 41, last but not least, I will be repeating myself, but that's okay because this one deserves the same amount of attention anyway. So pretty much the same thing for 41 Sunnyside Lane. The biggest thing was providing a separate landscape plan, also provided by Fisher Design Group. Same deal, the trees and shrubs disperse more naturally, some around closer to the house. Other than that, same deal with the drafting. This plan is now clearly showing all of the work that's only proposed for this address, similar to all the other ones. We have all the trees that are to be removed and tree protection, ones that will need tree protection shown on the plan. And then the detail for the phenostakes and where they're going to be along the proposed tree line. And that's pretty much it. Nothing else to add.
Thank you, Nathaniel. You good, Mark? Okay. Is there any public comment?
We do have a hand up.
Please.
2 hands.
Two hands.
Pamela Dritz.
Just a quick question. Are the
Pamela, if I could have your
Right.
name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Pamela Dritt, 13 Concord Green, Unit 4? Just are these going to be all electric buildings?
we're proposing for the electric stove, heat pumps, and electric hot water.
Electric cooling?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Yes, electric cooling, correct. So it would be heat pumps and mini splits.
And electric stoves?
No, they're gonna, well, yes, they're gonna use the conduction or whatever.
The induction.
Induction.
That sounds like all electric to me. Are they going to have,
The only thing that's not electric is the fireplace. We can't find a suitable Pamela, I know you're a big advocate of this, and I would love to switch to some sort of an electric fireplace, so in your spare time, if you could do some research to help me out, I'd love. So that's the only one we're struggling with, Pamela.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Appreciate your comment. Any questions?
And Sue Felsham?
Sue, you're muted.
Oh, I clicked to unmute myself and remuted myself. Sorry. Sue Felsham, 19 Sunnyside Lane. I see several spice bushes on the plan. My question is, will they be of mixed genders so they can make little baby spice bushes?
I believe that is the case.
Okay,
actually
I
don't
certainly
think-
hope so.
I don't think that spice bush is one that you need to have mail-in. I think it's both on the same plant.
Oh, that is not what the New England Wildflower Society says, so perhaps they are just wrong. Thanks.
Oh.
I am wrong. We'll check that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Appreciate your comment. Mark, you good with figuring that out?
Sue, would you mind figuring that out for me?
Well, I did. I asked the New England Wildflower Society.
It wasn't required. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mike. And thank you, Sue. All right, I think that closes it out. I think we have one more.
Okay, so I move that we close the hearing and issue an order of condition for 41 Sunnyside Lane, Concord. This is DEP file 1371622. And this is with findings A and B, standard conditions 1 through 20, and special conditions 21 through 55.
Second.
Thank you, Gary. Aye. Sarah,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
and I am an aye as well. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for your time.
Good luck on the project. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I think with that, we are adjourned for the evening.